And joining me now is a Democrat who represents a part of the country that perhaps still can't believe they lost on Tuesday. Senator Cory Booker of New Jersey. Senator, welcome back to Meet the Press.
Thank you for having me on again, Chuck.
Let me put the question to you this way. What did you learn from the voters on Tuesday? What message did they send to you?
Well, look, I think that neither party should be standing with pride and chest thumping right now when you have something that's very ahistoric, one of the few times in which the Electoral College and the popular vote were different. The message to both parties should be right now that we need to find ways to work together to speak to the American public. This is an election like I've never seen before, and I think it reflects the fact that many people have a dissatisfaction with politics as usual. So I think this is a time where both parties should be humble, reach out to each other, and try to find ways to build on common ground to serve the concerns, the rightful frustrations of the American people.
You know, when you ran for the Senate, you talked about one of the things you wanted to be was a disruptor in that positive sense when you think of the way Silicon Valley companies are thought of as disruptors. Trump, Clinton, I heard a lot of voters talk about Trump as a disruptor. Do you get the sense that maybe that was something that was missing in Hillary Clinton's message?
You know, I think there's going to be a lot of time to focus on the data in this election and really try to figure out what happened. And I know there's going to be people on both sides trying to sift through it all. Right now, I'm dealing with the fact that I've never seen an election like this one before, where people are so fearful. We elected someone who spewed so much Twitter troll-like bile and hate and bigotry that I literally have people erupting in tears. Even the flight I have to come here, an African-American single mom slipped me a note and hugged me with tears in their eyes. And so this is a time where I have deep concern about the future of our country. I've never seen an election where there's so many people who just don't know, from folks who are American citizens born in this country who tell me about their children feeling as if they're going to have to leave the nation because they're going to come after them. So my concern right now is standing in the breach and trying to turn fear into hope and trying to let folks know that we're going to fight forward and defend fellow Americans against what might or might not come.
What's your message to these protesters that are popping up? I was talking with Kellyanne Conway about it, asking if Donald Trump should be addressing these folks. She said he already has, and she even said she thinks that President Obama and Secretary Clinton should be telling these protesters essentially, hey, you need to accept the defeat and give some time and space to President-elect Trump. What's your message to these protesters?
Well, I'm sitting here right now having this conversation with you because of the tradition of American protest. I have my rights, not because of Washington suddenly deciding, Strom Thurmond and others, hey, let's give certain Americans equal rights, but because of the ardent, unyielding voice of protesters. And so when you have a president that is in his campaign who ran saying things that aren't just contrary to fact, but literally threatening to use presidential power in a way that would erode the rights and privileges and equality of large sections of Americans, God bless the protesters. But I will tell you this, I caution anyone who in their protest becomes the very thing that they're protesting against, meaning turning to hateful speech, violating principles and ideals that are sacred in this country. We need to raise our voices, but we do not need to indulge in hate. I still remember how upset I was in the aftermath of President Obama's election, where people in Republican leadership didn't say that, hey, I want to focus on the issues and values of our country, but my number one goal is to see that Barack Obama is not a two-term president. That to me is outrageous. I would never do that. My number one goal is to fight to protect poor people, ethnic and religious minorities, working class folks. And so I'm not going to become what the other side in many ways did that I thought was despicable, whether it was heckling a president during his State of the Union address or questioning the birth and the legitimacy of a president. Those things were despicable to me. We need to not lose our honor. We need to not lose our class in the way that we go about being a noble opposition.
You know, the Obama coalition didn't turn out. Vote for her. About half of it, you could look at it two different ways. There were some parts of the Obama coalition that voted Trump, particularly when you look at what happened in Michigan. 12 counties with working class folks who voted Obama over Romney. picked Trump over Clinton. And then, of course, there were turnout issues in other places like Wisconsin. Is this a reminder that the Obama coalition is not a Democratic Party coalition?
You know, so again, I live in a city, and I've lived my entire professional life. I've lived in a poor census tract, median income where I live. My census tract is $14,000. I've seen people come out in droves for Obama in 2008. I've seen them not come out in things like our governor's race in 2009. And what happened after that race? The earned income tax credit was cut, hurting, protecting millionaires in our state, but cutting poor people, raising taxes on poor people. I've seen Planned Parenthood attacked. Elections have consequences, and we all need to understand that. And so I don't care about Obama coalition, name it whatever you want. But when you don't come out and vote, some people might think, hey, this is not going to affect my life. But there are people in this nation on the margins that elections like this will hurt and will have a deep impact. And again, that's why put me in the opposition, put me in those people that are going to resist those things in our country that are going to happen now, where the folks who now are in power have said, they've told us who they are. They have an agenda that is going to hurt those folks who are working class Americans, Americans struggling. We are going to have to do everything we can to fight against that, to make sure that even though we didn't get big turnouts where we needed, we had all the votes we needed to win, but even though we didn't get those turnouts, it's not time to give up. We've got to keep fighting.
What are you looking for in the next head of the Democratic Party?
The next head of the DNC needs to be a committed progressive, somebody that's going to help to get our message out. Again, I've been working in my community for a long time. I've seen what happens when mortgage companies run amok and do things that I consider should have been illegal.
So is that Keith Ellison?
Keith Ellison is one of the names that's being bandied about that gives me hope and excitement. And I think there's going to be a process, but they need to be a committed progressive, and they need to be someone that in this time where there's a vacuum of leadership that will join others of the committed resistance and stand in the breach. Now, we need to reach out and give space for partnership and collaboration. That's the humility that I was talking about, to see if there's going to be things that we can work together on. But ultimately, if they come after us with bigotry, with prejudice, with hate, and I say us, all of Americans, because we're all in this together, if they come after, we need to make America love again and do everything we can to prevent this country from becoming the way that Donald Trump campaigned. If he governs the way he campaigned, it'll be a disastrous presidency. This is a chance for him to be magnanimous, humble, to work across the aisle. If that's the kind of president we have, that's fine. But if not, I want our DNC chair, I want Democratic senators and congresspeople, citizens, we need to resist.
Senator Cory Booker, Democrat from New Jersey, thanks for coming on. I appreciate it. Hey, NBC News fans, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on that button down here, and then click on any of the videos over here to watch the latest interviews, show highlights, and digital exclusives. Thanks for watching.